Welcome to Digipal 3's Battle of the Day. It is versus, I forgot. Oh yeah, that dede dude from Game Facts, the one who has my phone number, who I battle when I'm bored. There we go. He leads off with his Ferroporn, which is a Ferrothorn, which is like whatever. So I go into my Metagross, which is my anti-steel power with my hidden power fire powers go. And it doesn't kill the Ferrothorn because Ferrothorn sucks. Well, not really sucks, but sucks as in I can't kill Ferrothorns. He knocks off my leftovers, which I don't care, and I figure from this range, what the hell, let's go with the freaking hammer arm and try and kill it off. But for some godforsaken reason, the Ferrothorn survives, and yeah, I took armbar damage for no reason, and he sets up a Stealth Rocks. That was probably a stupid play on my part. Probably should have used him for another HP fire, but I predicted a switch because who in the hell stays into two hidden power fires with a Ferrothorn? But then he goes into the Politoed, which I expected him to go into in the first place, which annoys the hell out of me as I swing the hidden power fire into him, and it does jack. So that was a worthless 2 turns. And, well, yeah, so now he has the Stealth Rocks up, which is a negative. He has a Politoed up, which is negative, and Rain, which is negative. But at least it only has leftover, so he doesn't have to like specs or something. And I can see if we go into Rotom, which dodges Toxic like a boss. Dance, 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 dance. And Rotom keeps dancing. And he switches out his Politoed, not knowing what kind of Rotom I am. It turns out I'm discharging, because I'm a leftovers Rotom. Boom! And, yeah, that takes it out. Especially defensive Rotom is pretty decent, actually, for this battle. See you in a bit. Well, we got Rotom versus Politoed action again. I don't know why he switched in the first place. It was kind of useless death fodder, considering, yeah. So I do a fucking crap ton to that Politoed because I get a freaking critical hit. And then he goes and spams off that Toxic like all over my face. And, well, Toxic isn't going to hurt me any because, well, Rotom doesn't need to stay in the battle half the time. So I'll go for the Hydro Pump, predicting him to actually switch or something, but he doesn't switch. He just lets Politoed die. That's the second time he's done that stupidly. Yeah, there we go. So, I get my poison damage. I don't give a fuck. And he goes into Katrina the Tornadus. At this range, I'm pretty sure I can take a hit, so I just stay in and go for the discharge. As he U-turns out, predicting my switch, I guess. Who the hell knows? And he goes into Vajdana, his Meloetta with a really annoying moveset that can't actually hurt me. Apparently, it's max special defense EVs, because that thing took my discharge like it was nobody's business. It's just like, I'm standing here singing! And no, it doesn't work, so I go to mash mouth my thingamabob to take, like, Toxics or stuffs, and well, you know how things go down. He gets paralyzed, and I'm like, let's set up my rocks, because I know he's going to do nothing to me. So he goes into bounce, he is Scarfed Gyarados, and I'm like, let's rock it! Woo! And I go for my rocks. So there's my Heatran with them Stealth Rocks, and I'm all like, yeah! So I go for Protect the Scout, what move he's going to use, because as I said, he is Choice Scarfed, and I knew that ahead of time because we've seen his Gyarados before. And then I switch into my appropriate counter, which is Frisbee, my Latias. Now, Frisbee is like totally pro or something, because it's going to take this hit like a boss being a bulky defensive wishing Latias. So yeah, he switches out and is like, no, I go back in the Vajdana to counter you. At this point I'm like, okay, it doesn't really counter me, so I'm switching out and passing into my, what the hell? Because I kind of want to just get into what the hell and counter whatever he goes into. But since he went into Vajdana, I'm just going to hit him with a hammer arm and see how much damage I can do. It did almost next to nothing. He tricks me. I don't know what he tricks me. He tricks me. A Flame Orb. Okay, there we go. So he gives my Metagross a Flame Orb, and I'm like, well, that sucks. I'm forced to use my special attacks. So I go for the Icy Wind to counteract my Hammer Arm, and it does jack. Which he then goes for Heal Bell to get rid of his Paralysis, which really annoys me because I forgot he had that. So I'm forced to switch out, not wanting to take all his burn damage and crap, and go into my Latias. He goes for Rest, which is like, no, I did all that damage and it was so hard to do, and you're just gonna go and rest like a bitch. So yeah, he rests off, and I pass the wish, or well, I set up a wish, hoping to get some HP back on my Pokemon, because, you know, half-dead Pokemon. And he switches out his Vajdana and goes into Katrina the Airmeister, and as I predict that switch, and I go straight for the Dragon Pulse, like, whoa! So I smash Tornadus up in that hit, and I'm like, you're going to survive with that little HP because you're a freaking monster. And I'm going to get almost all my HP back, or is it all my HP? I don't really care. I'm going to get it back. And he goes for the Hurricane like, so I hit him with an Energy Bell and finish him off. That's that. I get the useless crit, which is freaking awesome because, you know, useless crits are fun. And, well, there we go. He goes into T-Tar, which has Unnerved, which this whole time I actually thought he had Sandstorm up. well, and so I just kind of protect the Scouter's move. I didn't realize that I wasn't getting hit by Sandstorm. I'm a complete moron at this point. So I go into Mash Mouth to take the Sandstorm abuse and Sponge the Crunch instead of going into something else, which you probably would have done it better. And, well, it still does it. I figured he was choiced because what T-Tar isn't. And he goes back into Gyarados. So at this point, I'm like, fuck you, I'm roaring, go away. Because I did predict that rather well, actually, because, you know, Gyarados can easily counter Heatran. So he ends up going back on a Twitar, and at this point I realized that the Sandstorm isn't there, so I'm like, oh shit, this whole time I was doing fucking nothing for nothing. Goes back on a Gyarados, but I didn't predict it this time, and I went for Protect anyways. I was an idiot. I should have predicted that, because why would you do the same thing twice? So he does go for the leftovers and stuff, and I switch out taking the Water move, or whatever he uses, and I don't care. Yeah, it was Waterfall. So I go into Cofagrigus, the awesomest defensive wall ever, to take the hit, give him the mummy, and be like, the big middle finger. So, I mean, yeah, he doesn't have Moxie anymore, so it's not even a threat. So back into Frisbee to take a hit, hopefully take a hit anyways. But you know what, it doesn't work, so Latias ends up being Death Fodder because Latias isn't strong enough to take 2 hits of Waterfall. So, I'm sorry Latias, but it had to be done. Let's give it a moment of silence. Close enough. Okay, so I go into the Carter, which is a complete funny joke based on dude on GameFAQs. But, yeah, so we go into the Carter, and I go for the Pursuit thinking he was going to switch, but you know what, he just doesn't switch, so my Slacking goes and gets Mummy like a boss. But it's not going to be strong enough to survive another hit of Waterfall, so sadly, Slacking does absolutely nothing in this battle. I'm sorry, Slacking. You were supposed to try, but you didn't try, so you die. So I go back at a draw, so you could easily take a hit from this thing. I'm like, no, bitch, I'm going for the discharge. Boom! So I go for the discharge and try to get more pair hacks and shit, and I don't do it because he's sleeping, so no. At this point, I'm like, do I want a Pain Split? Do I want a Pain Split? Yes, let's Pain Split. So I go and Pain Split, and I get most of my HP back, which is why I said the Toxic doesn't really hurt Rotom any, because I can just get all my HP back anyways. While damaging something hugely in the process. It's a win-win situation, you know? So we'll go back into Mash Mouth because I don't want the Toxic damage to break up, because obviously I can't stay in there forever, and hopefully just roar out Vegdana. And, well, yeah, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to sit here and roar as he goes for the trick. So he gives me no item, and I give him leftovers, which is going to fuck with me in the end, because, you know, I liked my leftovers. It's what makes Heatran good. So it goes back into Twitar, and, well, I can't do anything with it because I'm a freaking Heatran and I ain't got no ground moves. So I go for Protect just to see what move he locks himself into, and it's Stone Edge. So at this point, I gotta go into Metagross, which is the only Pokemon I have to take a Stone Edge, and, yeah, I take it really well. Because, you know, it misses. So of course I take it really well. You can fucking hit me if you miss. So he does hit me with another Stone Edge, and it does a fuck ton. Because he gets a crit. And I hit him with Icy Wind, which I really don't know why, because Hammer Arm probably would have been better. I think I might have been predicting a switch because he knew I had Hammer Arm, but I guess he didn't switch. So that's what happens, and I go to Grrrr, knowing I could take a Stone Edge from this range, and he just switches out anyway, so I'm like, works for me, bro! And he goes into Vegdana to, well, take the Will-O-Wisp. Oh, take this Pain Split. Which actually doesn't do much, so, I mean, it doesn't heal him, it doesn't hurt me. It's a Meloetta, and I'm kind of scared of it, because I know it has, like, a status move or something. So I go back into Mash Mouth and take the status move, and, I actually get hit by a Perish Song, which is kind of weird. I mean, I don't really know what to expect from Meloetta, so, I mean, a Perish Song was weird. So, it does stuff, and I go for the rest. And then it goes for the rest, which annoys me, and, well, I'm going to, I think, get a Lava Plume here. I could roar, I forget. I Lava Plume, okay, I Lava Plume. So Meloetta is hit by the Lava Plume. It does jack shit. This is where I roar because I don't want to stay in here and do all this shit all day. And I'm like, rah. Oh no, I just switched. Shut up. Alright, so I switch and go into Grrrr. Because I kind of want to get the Pain Split off. Because, you know, my HP is getting low and I kind of need this Cofagrigus to handle some of his team members, so... Jeez, I'm coughing today. Sorry. So we go to the Twitar and I'm like, fuck you, Will-O-Wisp. Because, you know, Cofagrigus and Will-O-Wisping and the stuffs, and yeah, I like getting Twitars burned. It makes my survivability a hell of a lot better. So he's going in there, he's all burned and stuff, and he's like, nah, burn. He goes into bouncy, which he says is actually a misclick, but you know what? Fuck, that my time ran out. Okay, I know I could take a hit from that thing, so, yeah, I'm gonna stay in and just be like a boss and stuff, and... Alright, so I'm gonna sit here and waterfowl, and it's like, ah! And it does nothing, because it's a freaking cofagrigus with max defense, and he gets mummy again, and I finish him off the Shadow Ball, go, 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 and he dies. So this is pretty much ending the last part of the game, because, I mean, it's a freaking cofagrigus versus the world. I mean, this thing is such a bossy troll in OU. It doesn't look like much of an OU Pokemon, but it is an OU Pokemon, because it's a ghost typing, which is really good defensively. Oh, it has massive defense stats, mediocre HP, but whatever. It's got Pain Split to make up for it, dudes. Cofagrigus, it's the ghost of the day, man. Get out of there. Roll that shit and going back into Twitter, which is going to die to burn. And the Stealth Rocks. And it just dies, because, you know, Tyranitar. It doesn't live. It's awesome. So he goes into Vajdana, his last Pokemon, and I'm like, what are you going to do to me, bro? You got nothing. You got absolutely nothing. So I'm going to stay in a Lava Plume. Because at this point he realizes he's a dumbass and doesn't have any moves, so he's kind of just going to sit there. Wow, I'm coughing a lot. Alright, whew. I don't know what's wrong with me. Oh, man. Alright. So he goes and wakes up and goes for the Parasong because he knows he's dead anyways. Instead of just running like a decent citizen, he's going to sit here and stall his fucking ass off. So you know what? I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to get all my HP back and all my guys and be all like, fuck you. Because that's what I do. I'm like, yeah. The big middle finger, bro. The big middle finger. Get in there. Get in there. So, he's going to Parasong, but it does nothing. So... yeah. This pretty much ends the wrap to the games and the stuffs and the whats and the huhs and the, but you know what I mean. So that's pretty much how it ends, bros. And because Vajdana can't really take much. He goes and tricks leftovers from my leftovers. That's the best freaking trick ever. I mean, all my dudes have leftovers. What do you think you're gonna get? Man. I hate the ending of this battle, it's so darn lengthy. But he does finally go for the rest, and I hit the Pain Split button just to get back as much HP as possible before the match ends. And that's exactly what's going to happen. So I go back to 276, which is freaking awesome, because, yeah, Rotom with survivability, you just don't see it. So that's that. GG, dudes. This has been DigiPal3, aka Gleam the Tri-Tailed Arctic Fox. Welcome to Furryland, folks. This is your stop.